Have you ever wondered if solar is a scam? Have you ever tried to figure out if it's right for you or how you can find someone that you can trust to get real information about whether it can benefit you in your retirement? Well, in today's video, I bring on real estate expert and solar professional Todd Danicek to clear up all your questions and show you how you can evaluate solar the right way. Today, I have Todd Danicek, real estate professional, solar expert. And I'm so glad, Todd, you came on to do this video. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Danny. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Just start by telling us, how did you get into solar?
So I got into solar about a year ago. I had a good friend of mine. I'm a real estate agent by trade. Been doing real estate now for about 8 years. And there's been a downturn since COVID. So I needed something to kind of supplement my income that had kind of a real estate commission, right? So I had a good buddy of mine that just started a company. It's called Powur Solar, Powur Solar. They've been rated on the Inc. 500 like number 51 for like the last 10 years for doing really good things. They said, hey, take a look at their roadmap. Take a look at what you think about it. It doesn't cost much to get started. You got to take some exams. And then once you pass your exams, you become what's called a sales rep, a tier 1 sales rep. And I did that, and I picked it apart, and I really liked the process. I liked their system. I liked the owner, the CEO. His name is Jonathan Budd. And it was just a really cool, smooth process, and I believed in the process. So I started that about a year ago, and I went to all my old clients with real estate, okay? Went back. I already had gained their trust because I've transacted with them in the past, and say, hey, have you gone green yet? You know, have you thought about going solar? If you haven't, why? You know, could you tell me any feedback that what you think about solar? And I just started out, and within the first probably 3 months, I got a contract every single month for the first 3 months. So it's been really good. I've gotten great feedback from it, and I love doing it as a supplemental income. So, but I look at it as a full-time mentality because I love to be able to pay that forward. So that's how I got started.
I think that's a good move to branch out and expand your business. And, you know, you and I have done a lot of work together over the years, and you know, you've become somebody that I have a tremendous amount of trust and respect for. You're very objective in how you've helped some of my clients and how I've seen you interact with your clients, and I've always gotten great feedback. How do you really qualify somebody if they're a good candidate for solar or not? Like, how does somebody know if they should be thinking about solar, if it's a smart move for them or not?
The only thing that I really need, and there's no obligation with this, and this is what I love about solar, because I'm not really selling you, right? I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just giving you the true hard numbers. So what we would do is this. It's as simple as this. I would say, as an example for you, hey, Danny, are you looking at going green? You're like, you know what? I'm kind of on the fence, but you know what? Okay, what do you need from me? Don't need any credit card information. All I need is your last utility bill, okay? We take that utility bill. I have a platform through the Powur platform that I build up in my CRM, okay? And that goes to a team of engineers, okay, and it goes based on satellite. They look at your roof from a satellite, bird's eye view, if you will, and they look at, you know, the size of your house. They look at the kilowatts on your energy bill that you're using, and then we form a proposal for you in what you would be with solar versus what you would be just paying your landlord, right? Which is in essence your utility bill, your electric company. Out here, it's SRP and APS. So it's literally that simple, no hassle, no obligation. Either you want to pay let's say for example, you're paying $200 a month on an average right now for your utility bill. Would you rather have solar 0% down and pay $140 a month? It's literally just addition and subtraction. It's easy math. Either it's a good fit or it's not a good fit.
So say somebody's shopping for solar, because this is why I wanted to have you on, right? Because there's so many questions my clients bring to me. They're like, hey, this sales rep came to my house. Is this a good idea for me, right? And so they want to analyze it because, you know, my channel is all about retirement income and how to secure retirement income so people can live their purpose in retirement. That's all cash flow. And if you can save money on your utility bills, that's one way to improve cash flow. So is it really as simple as them just looking at a proposal and saying, hey, I can save money here, so it's a good fit? Or are there other things to consider that people need to be aware of?
The thing I love about this company that I work with is that their proposal is super, super, super transparent, and it's very black and white. You might say, well, what does that mean? So when you get your proposal, you're going to see a picture of your house. It's going to tell you the consumption that you're, you know, typically using. You have what's called off-peak and on-peak times in Arizona, and it varies from season to season, you're going to literally get a snapshot of what your electric bill looks like now and a 12-month rolling calendar versus looking at the solar plan and the proposal and looking at, if you had solar, this is how many trees you'd be saving. This is how much CO2 you'd be saving. Here's the savings that you'd be paying per month versus paying your utility bill. You'd be 80% off the grid versus being on the grid, and you'd probably have a little utility bill. So everything is very transparent. We're very black and white with what we do, and we walk you through the process. And again, what we do is we let you take a look at it. We don't put a timestamp or a date stamp on it and say, hey, Danny, you got until tomorrow at 2 o'clock to make this decision, because after 2 o'clock, it's off the table. We don't play that game, okay? And you'll know that you're going to be getting value based upon what you're paying right now as a consumer for your electric versus going to solar and going green and looking at what your typical utility bill is going to be per month with the loan. And here's one better. Mortgage companies now are actually, if you get into a home and let's say you want to get solar, a mortgage company will let you refi it and refi the solar into there. That way you can just have one payment instead of having 2 or 3 payments. So mortgage companies and lenders are doing that now. They started that about 6 months ago.
Wow. Does it add any value to the house if you have solar?
That's a great question. It typically adds 4 to 8% of instant equity every single year. That's a proven statistic. 4 to 8% on an average.
What's an average cost for somebody to set it up?
Yeah, so it's 0% down. Okay, the feds are offering until 2032 now. They pass it for another 10 years, 30% tax credit. Okay, the state of Arizona, and every state it's different. The state of Arizona, once you go live and you're up on the roof, okay, you get a $1,000 check from them as well too. Okay, so it's 0 out of pocket. The cost is, it just depends on how big your system is, right? So that's why we do the proposal. Again, transparency. Then all the numbers are going to be in black and white. It's going to tell you what your savings are, what your utility bill currently is, your solar bill with solar, and how much altogether that system is going to cost you. Because you could take solar out now for up to 20 years now. So it's like taking a mortgage out, right? So your payments could be lower over time. But they say the typical consumer that gets solar, that takes their loan out for 20 years, they pay it off in an average of 4.5 years. They're saving so much money on their electricity. They're like, well, let's get rid of this solar bill, right? We want to have any bill at all.
Yeah.
Myself, I could attest to it. I got solar in my house 3 years ago when I moved in. And with the help of you, of course, I did a HELOC and I was actually able to pay off my solar. And I have no utility bill now, none. I actually get a credit at the end of the year when they do their payouts to SRP. I get a credit at the end. I don't even have a bill. If I can have no bill and add value to my home and save the earth a little bit more for our kids and our generation and the next generations coming up, where do I sign? So that's the beauty of it.
That's incredible. I love your success story, by the way, and thank you for mentioning that we worked together on that. That was a great source of pride for me as well to see that accomplishment you went out and achieved and led it. You guys are hard workers and you've done a lot. It's impressive to watch, and so I'm glad you shared that too. That you have personal experience with that. I'm a believer in solar. I mean, it's not a religion or anything, but I've had so many people, they get that stigma like, is it a scam? Is it for real? Can I trust it? And I don't know where that really comes from. I don't know if it's just bad sales practices, but I've had multiple clients show me their SRP bill with no, in the summertime in Arizona, which if anybody knows Arizona in the summertime, June, July, and August are painful months to pay for AC bills. And so I think it can be a great benefit. So what happens when you pay it off? You get a credit and you don't have a utility bill possibly?
If you were to pay it off, let's play 2 scenarios. Let's say you say, you know what, Todd, I want to get solar. You sold me. I believe in it. I do the proposal. We build it out. Typically, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to have your solar installed. You might be like, well, how come so long? Good question. If you have an HOA, got to pull permits. We got to get their permission. We got to get the utilities company permission.
Yeah.
We got to get everybody in the neighborhood's permission. Okay, so it takes time. That's a process, right? The actual solar install, believe it or not, this is 100% honest truth. I've been on all my installs. Takes 1 day. But the permitting and getting everything together, it takes time because the HOA is busy, the utility company's busy, the county that you live in is busy with signing up on permits. So it takes one day to literally install your solar, and you're literally plugged into the system in one day.
Running.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
amazing. So let's say you say in 5 years, well, Todd, I got 15 years left on this loan. Like I got like $25,000 left that I owe the solar company. I don't have that money. I don't have that liquidity, right? You don't have to have that liquidity. You want to know why? Because that loan that you have is an assumable loan, which means that the new buyer or buyers that come in, they could assume your solar loan. They just have to be pre-approved through a private lender, okay? But they would assume your loan. They would assume your payments until it was paid off. And on top of it, you could list your house for 4 to 8% more because you have solar. And that's an added incentive for a new buyer coming in, because now they're not going to have any utility bill. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Doing something good for the planet.
Absolutely, 100%. So I really believe in it. And if I don't believe in something, I don't stand behind it. I don't endorse it. Yeah. And to me, in the state that we live in, Danny, right, or like in the sunny states, Arizona, California, Florida, Puerto Rico. I mean, we're in all these different states, and the sun is your best friend. Why don't you just utilize them? I mean, he's saving me hundreds, if not thousands a year in my utility bill. And guess what? I cut out the landlord. That landlord was called SRP, okay, which is my utility company. Right. They don't like me because they don't get any money off of me. So to me, it's not even a sales pitch. It's an IQ test at that point. Do you want to pay nothing, or do you want to pay $150 a month? What do you want to do, right? So that's why I like it, because in solar, there's really no pitch. There is no pitch. There is no sales tactic. We don't do that. That's why we're so transparent, and that's why this company is so successful, because we are black and white. We're very transparent with what we do.
So here's my last question for you. If somebody's sitting down with a solar professional and they're just not sure, like, how do they know? I mean, obviously they could contact you, but how would they know when to maybe look for a second opinion? Like, let's say they're right there, everything sounds good, they're not quite sure. I mean, because people can get oversold slightly, right? I mean, that can happen. So if somebody's a consumer and they know nothing about solar, they're just going based on the trust of the person they're sitting there talking to, how do they know when to go out and go, you know what, let me go get a second opinion, make sure I got the most competitive quote? When would they want to do that, basically?
That's a great question. So what I always do with potential buyers of solar that I have, and I've done this with every single one of my clients, okay, I had 3 installs, I got 2 going in next month. What I told them is this: I said, hey, Mr. Danny, Mr. Smith, here's your proposal. Sleep on it, talk with your wife, talk with your husband, talk with the other person in the home, okay? Find out if it's a good fit for you. It might not be a good fit for you, but look at the numbers, look at the black and white. Will you be saving money? If it's a yes, okay, put that in the positive box. Are you going to be having money come out of pocket because you have to have the solar bill now and now? No, you check all the boxes, go with your gut. But I always say, you tell that rep, hey, listen, give me 24 to 48 hours. And if you really want me to go through you, I want to get a second opinion. I would always suggest get a second opinion. You want to know why? You have nothing to compare it to. You don't know if you're getting a steal or they're stealing you. So always get a second opinion and go with that person that you feel the most confident with. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be a 20-year marriage. You're going to be married to the solar unless you pay it off earlier. So I always say get a second opinion, just like in real estate. Always get a second lender involved because you have something to compare it to. You don't know if that other guy is going to give you a better interest rate, and that could wind up saving you thousands. Or you could, you can move thousands around to the left or to the right of the scale, right? I would rather have it on my side of the scale. So I always say, get a second opinion. Let that person that gave you the proposal give a timeline. Hey, I'm going to sleep on it for 2 days. I will give you an answer, but let me get a second opinion. I really got to reach out to somebody else that I have to compare apples to apples. So I always say get a second opinion, always.
That's great. That's great advice, Todd. I've always been, like I said, impressed by every time I've introduced a client to you, whether it's for real estate or if it's for solar. They've always come back and thanked me and said, I'm just so grateful you introduced me to Todd. You just have a tremendous amount of integrity. Where can people get more information from you? How do they connect with you if they want to get more information about solar, they want to get a quote, they want to get one of these free, demos or where would they contact you?
Yeah, so my contact information, I'll give you my website. It's www.powur.com/my name, Todd Danicek, Danicek, Danicek. That'll go right to my main platform, which is my landing page on this business card right here. Okay. And you can reach out to me, and it's got all my information, all my call to action, and you'll be able to say, hey, I want to talk to this solar consultant. You just hit call now or send a message, and you get a hold of me day or night, and I respond probably within the hour. If it's after hours, probably within an hour and a half, but I always respond the following business day too. So you can reach out to me for anything you got.
Yeah, you are very responsive. I appreciate that. If you guys like this video and you appreciate the fact that we're trying to always look for an edge on how to improve retirement income, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It helps us to be able to reach more people. We're so excited to have professionals like Todd on that can help talk about how you can actually pay off your utilities or have a more efficient utility bill that can go a long way for your cash flow in retirement. If you like more content like this, please like the video. Leave a comment. Todd will check the comments. I'll check the comments. If he doesn't, I'll ping him and we'll get answers to all of your questions. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.